Hello everybody, welcome to Retrocore Classic Gaming Music, episode number 18. Yes, we can now buy cigarettes, so now we can look cool. Yeah, that was a bad joke, I'm sorry. I am your host, DJ Sexy Lips, bringing you the hits of yesterday, gaming style. Today's show is back to normal. It's not going to have a theme like the Final Fantasy VII ones, but it's back to normal, so yeah. And if it's back to normal, everyone should know what time it is. It's Breath of Fire 3 time. Here at the music show. Woo! Eden kicked us off there in our Breath of Fire 3 beginning, like we do it all the time here. Actually, the next Retrocore is going to be about Breath of Fire 3, so if you've been listening to this show since the beginning and been digging the Breath of Fire tunes, haven't played the game and been wondering about the game, pay attention to this upcoming Sunday's Retrocore, because it is Breath of Fire 3, baby. Oh yeah. Coming up next is a couple of NES tracks from Double Dragon and Legacy of the Wizard. So, enjoy! Industrial Zone from Double Dragon, the first one on Nintendo. That's one of my all-time, one of my favorite beat 'em ups. It's the one that got me into them, basically. So yeah, if you are my age and grew up back then, it's probably the same for you. Followed by Legacy of the Wizard, the Dragon Slayers. I have no idea. Just the soundtrack I have. Hope I liked it, so might have to play the game. Next up is a couple tracks from Mario RPG. Anybody knows me, big fan of Mario, big fan of Squaresoft, so you can't go wrong with Mario RPG. So here we go. Happy Adventure, Delightful Adventure. Yeah, that's the first song from Mario RPG there. That's basically just the opening demo track if you just let the game play. Followed by Welcome to Yoster Isle, or Island. So yeah, just Yoshi Island, people. Mario RPG is an epic game. If you're a collector, go buy it on eBay or Amazon or just wherever you can find it. Or if you can't do that, if you're not a collector, or if you are but can't afford it, you can get it on the virtual console for 800 Wii points. So yeah. Coming up next, I got a trio of songs. One's from the PlayStation. The others are from the 64. So basically the 32X era. 32-bit. Didn't mean X. But yeah, I think the PlayStation one's Tomba, and the other two are from, I don't know. Just listen, people. I'm your host, DJ Sexy Lips, bringing you the hits of yesterday, gaming style. First track there was from indeed Tomba on the PlayStation 1. It was Village of All Beginnings. I didn't play the game Tomba too much. I just had a demo disc that had it on there, and I liked that song. So yeah, it's an awesome song. Followed by, what was it called? Green Garden from Bomberman 64. I personally am not a Bomberman guy. I do see the charm in it, and I have played it though. And lastly, we had Cave Dungeon from none other than Mario 64, the platformer that brought 3D platforming right. Yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's early morning, it's 9 in the morning, and I want to play Fat Princess, but Titan's still working on their patch, so hurry up, Titan. Get it done. It's in the testing phase still. If anyone listened to yesterday's Retrocore, I talked about Fat Princess and the patch, and it still hasn't come, so I'm waiting patiently. It's a bitch to join a game. So, with that out of the way, it's time for some more Nintendo music. I can't deny the fact that I love 8-bit music. Call me a nerd, I don't give a shit. Let's see. Mario 3 and Double Dragon 2. I'm your host, DJ Sexy Lips, bringing you the hits of yesterday, gaming style. Yeah, arriving right on the halfway mark of the show. Everyone knows what time it is. But before I get into plugs and stuff, Mario 3 song was for you there, Sober. Athletic, followed by the Hurried version, when you're running out of time, and yeah. And followed by Forest of Death from Double Dragon 2. Nintendo music is awesome. So, you'll hear it a lot here at Retrocore Classic Gaming Music. Now, since it is the halfway mark of the show, it's time for plugs. Yes, Retrocore, our official podcast where we talk about anything to do with retro gaming, from the Atari all the way up to the 64 and PlayStation, and soon to be PlayStation 2. Possibly Game Boy Advance, because that's basically a handheld Super Nintendo. But that's just getting ahead of myself. But check out Retrocore at retrocore.podomatic.com or Retrocore at vagary.tv. I just recorded a show yesterday based on Final Fantasy IV. So if you like Final Fantasy IV, give it a listen. Again, retrocore.podomatic.com or vagary.tv. Colin is still absent. He will be back at the end of the month. I don't know if he's going to be able to record, and he might have to settle in. So I don't have a problem with doing solo shows no more. So either way, I'm cool. I hope you guys like my solo shows. I'd really like some feedback. So also check out Sober and M at Game Society Podcast. GameSociety.podomatic.com. Send them email at GameSocietyRadio@hotmail.com. Congratulate them on the birth of their new baby boy Logan. I'm sure he's cute. Aww. So, okay. Now it's time for a segment that I did once, and I haven't awarded the guy that won, so it still will be done. Haven't forgotten, but guess the song, name that tune, I don't know. It still hasn't been named. So I'm going to call it Name That Tune for this time. This song, I'm not going to, no clues. Name this tune, people. If you get it right, you can request 5 songs. I'll play them in a row. If you want some airtime, co-host like a little segment with me on either Retrocore or this show, I don't care. We'll get together. We'll work something out. So, guess the song, people. Here we go. Yeah, that one might be tricky, so I'm anxious to see who gets that one. I guess I'll give you 2 hints. Stupid cell phone. Let's see. Handheld, and it is a popular franchise. That's all I'm giving you. Handheld, it was on the handheld device, and a popular franchise. Yeah. Okay, coming up next, I got a trio of some songs here of a game that I am highly anticipated about, either coming out the end of this year or probably spring next year. That is the remakes of Pokemon Gold and Silver. So, in anticipation of those games, here are 3 tracks. I am your host, DJ Sexy Lips, bringing you the hits of yesterday, gaming style. best damn Pokemon soundtrack ever. And I'm sure a lot will agree with me. There's a lot more than that. Goldenrod City, oh my god. Even the radio station songs were good. They were catchy. So, yeah. First one that started us off, this is just basically you're starting your adventure, people. New Barktown, followed by the first route, Route 29, and then Route 46. So, you just start your adventure. There's your first 3 songs you'd more than likely hear, besides, the professor's theme and all that jazz. So, okay. Moving along here. What would Retrocore classic gaming music be without Final Fantasy music? And you might ask, Chris, what music are you going to play today? You played all of 7s, well, the majority, and most of 4s. So what's today? Well, since I did a Final Fantasy IV show yesterday, it's going to be Final Fantasy IV. But it's a treat. It's from the special album, the Piano Collection. And the reason I do play this is I want to point out to people that say video game music isn't real music. You can suck a goat's butt. Yeah, that's G-rated. Because I try to make this podcast G-rated so all people can listen to video game music if their parents don't allow them or whatnot. But yeah, video game music is real music. It is written, directed, and composed just like any other music. The only difference is, well, back then, is you had to do it with, the fucking hardware. Oops. The hardware on the that you were given with. It wasn't real instruments, but it can be arranged to be used on real instruments, as this, here we go, Final Fantasy IV Piano Collection proves. Video game music is real music, damn it. Now you see, even if you didn't know that was video, I mean, you could listen to that and not know it was video game music, couldn't you? Seriously, like, you could be at like a play, or I don't know. This is just stupid examples because I don't. Most of my listeners or me would be at a play, or like just like your kid is at school. Let's say you're not a gamer, you don't know video game music, and you hear this song. You wouldn't know it's from a game, but you would know it's good. This just proves my point. These tracks were all from a Super Nintendo game, people. MIDI. Not very good audio, but just goes to prove it can be done in real life instruments to sound good. I'm sorry for my analogies here; they're not very good. But no, the first track we had there was "Theme of Love," followed by "Trojan Beauty." Then we had "Welcome to Our Town," all from Final Fantasy IV, piano. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little bit and getting some of my feelings about game music off my chest, because I'm just sick of people saying that it's not real music when it is. So, okay. Next up is a couple of Nintendo tracks from Ninja Turtles, the first one. Then it's time for the now. So, first up, it's Ninja Turtles music from the good old Nintendo. Man, that game is just bad and good at the same time. Uh, the bad is it's just not very good, but it is. It's weird. It's mostly nostalgia. Yeah, it's the nostalgic glasses, goggles, whatever you want to call them. That game will always hold a place in my heart. Uh, First song there was the main theme, followed by the Overworld map theme. Those songs are used a lot. I've heard it in a lot of videos and just stuff like that on the internet. So, okay. And while I'm on the subject of video game music, it is real music. My then and nows really prove it too. I just kind of dawned on me. But yeah, my then and nows prove it. So it's time for then and now, people. This one is Bionic Commando. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. I do. Bionic Commando Rearmed is on the PlayStation Network. If you don't have it, buy it. They just added trophies, so it adds the replay value, people. That's what I've been doing off and on. If you have a PlayStation 3, real quick, add Sticky C33, especially if you have games like Fat Princess, Crash Commando, list could go on, but those two especially. Add Sticky C33. Oh, Namco Essentials. Listen to yesterday's Retrocore for all that information. But PlayStation 3 owners, you like those games that I just said, you like this show, you like me, add Sticky C33. And DJ Sexy Lips will be your friend on the PlayStation 3 for life. I can't guarantee that, but okay, I'm rambling. Then and now, so we can end this show today, is Bionic Commando. The first track is Duh from the original on the Nintendo Area 5. And then the last one is from the one on PlayStation 3, Rearmed, Heatwave. It's the same track, but just renamed Heatwave instead of Area 5. Because, yeah, we know how innovative names were made back then. So, I hope you guys enjoy. I have been your host, DJ Sexy Lips, bringing you the hits of yesterday gaming style.
post nasal drip and kung fu grip. You gotta check it out on my microchip. Oh yeah. Oh. Somersault backflip. Super karate kick. Double back turn twist.